With the Cara, greetings and welcome to my channel. This is Siobhán, the Celtic Empath. Also, I am Orza, which is my given galactic shamanic name which was recently given to me at the end of 2020. Funnily enough, as I record this particular video today, it is actually the 1st of January 2021, considered our new year going by our traditional Gregorian calendar. But however, I'm starting off the new year kind of on, I guess, making an announcement. I had just created my website, which is activateawakeaurahypnosis.com. I became recently qualified in 2020 as an aura hypnosis therapist and RAAH Reiki therapist. So these are recent energy modalities that I've began working with in the latter half of last year. And as part of my aura hypnosis training, we received a lot of guidance in relation to energy work and energy shielding. And this was a part of trainings that I felt were greatly needed and were missed from other healing modalities that I had trained in other forms of Reiki and other energy work in the past. And I always felt energetically that something was missing. And as a result of that, I went through an awful lot of experiences in relation to figuring out the dark versus the light and what is the dark. And we all have darkness and light within us. There's shadow and light. And particularly if you consider yourself a light worker, then being a light worker is somebody who actually, I suppose, faces the challenges a lot of the dark and having to work with dark energies and integrating the dark with your light and bringing light to the dark. And that happens both internally and also externally through the experiences that you'll have in your life as you meet people and go about like shining your light and trying to do your energy work. So I'm making this video today because I want to talk about like the importance and the relevance of shielding. So this is going to be part one for a two-part video. So the first part, I'm going to talk about shielding and why we shield, the importance and relevance of shielding, because there's a lot of like different ideas out there about what it means to shield or what it means to protect our energy. And I know that there is a certain line of thought with some people that discern for themselves. So this is part of my own discernment, and this is what works for me energetically and what I've experienced. And there's a number of different reasons why we experience, maybe some people experience more darkness within their shadow selves and within their general energetic experience of life, more so than others. There's a number of different reasons. And the thing about aura hypnosis is it's okay. So aura means angelic, universal, regression, alchemy. So this is a form of past life regression hypnosis. And through this form of hypnosis, we connect deeply with the higher self. And then through the higher self, then we connect more deeply. We can make a more clear and deeper connection through the hypnosis with our angelic realm, with the angelic beings, and with other galactic and interdimensional beings as well. And part of this important process is also understanding energy and how energy works. And through aura, we experience and learn a lot about negative energies and the role that negative energies and the different forms that it takes and how it actually interferes and affects or can influence our personal selves and how we feel on a daily basis in relation to our thinking, our mindset, and our feelings and our emotions and our thoughts. If we're bombarded with a lot of different negative or just like low feeling sort of emotions, which would be to do with anger, guilt, greed, and selfishness, just having general sense of thoughtlessness, a lack of thought towards others, or just feeling angry for no reason, or getting like bursts of anger that seem to kind of come from nowhere, or feeling intense anxiety or stress all of a sudden in relation to dealing with people, relationships, in certain situations. So this is kind of the negative side of our shadow selves, that sometimes we don't even feel as if it's coming from ourselves, or we have to wonder, where did that actually come from? Because it seems to come a sudden burst of, for example, the most typical one would be feeling quite anxious, anxiety, or extreme anger, almost into rage. And we do have to look at ourselves and question, geez, where did that actually come from? And a lot of people will actually can look deep enough inside to say, you know what, I don't think that really came from me, because I wasn't feeling that way in relation to what was happening at the time. And then it just seems to come from nowhere. So this will be just one example that I'm just trying to illustrate at the moment. So I feel like, am I going off the point a little bit? Through aura hypnosis, we have discovered, and through a massive body of work of hypnosis work that has been done, we've discovered that there are other reasons that we're not aware of that actually has caused interference and influence, influencing our thoughts and our emotions. And we in aura hypnosis work with so many different levels of energy, that we first do a lot of energy work as a aura and RAAH Reiki therapist. So we do a lot of energy work on ourselves. And it's only because that prior to learning how to do what I would consider now to be a full, proper, and integrated energy system of working with shielding, that I didn't have before, prior to becoming aura and RAAH trained, and what I was searching for, because the search was happening for so many years, because I was experiencing so many different issues with negativity and negative attack, and to do with attachments, entities, and with all kinds of demonic energies that are prevalent within our matrix, this 3D matrix at the moment, that still exists really for some people, not for all of us, but it's still kind of there, let's just say. So and now it's only because I've overcome all of that, and now that I have a much fuller and broader understanding of all of these different things that were happening to me and around me, and being directed at me coming from different sources, it's only now that I can actually full-heartedly actually embrace all of it, and because I've learned to deal with it and overcome it, and I know what it is. But negative attack is the thing. Negative entities, negative attachments, psychic attack, black magic, all these things are a thing. It's all a form of energy at the end of the day. And that is all it ever comes down to for me. It's energy. And either we're really experiencing something that's positive and lifts us up and inspires us, or we're experiencing the opposite that is affecting us in a negative way, and it's not serving us. So through aura and RAAH, we do firmly believe, and there is many schools of thought of a new form of light worker that believes, oh well, if your energy and frequency is high enough and you're, all love and light and the whole lot, then you don't need to shield or protect. But for my own experience, personal experience, and from many people that I have dealt with and spoken to, that's not really realistically the case. And you know we can't, none of us can all be love and light all of the time. Nobody can be, and not if you are even somebody who is still resonating and you really believe you're in 5D consciousness all the time. It's not completely realistic, because all of us, no matter who we are having a human experience, and we're having to deal with human shit basically all the time. So I really don't subscribe to the thought that if you are really such a high frequency light worker, then you don't need to shield or protect. And so this is my own discernment, and it's my own experience, and it is not even a belief. It's actually something that I know is necessary and is vital and important. So with that, I'm going to kind of talk, really, this is part one, the process of shielding, and why we shield and why is it necessary. What does it do for us? What's the point of doing it? So prior to shielding, I could say that you might have, let's just say you might have lack of energy, you might have lack of focus, you might have a lack of a clear mind, you may feel that you have a lot of different thoughts that sometimes are rambling thoughts or interfering thoughts or obsessive thoughts or angry thoughts or having arguments with yourself in your mind. So this is actually relatively quite common. Not many people can actually disagree with that. Having sort of general feelings of anxiety and stress. So there's a number of reasons that can cause these things, but generally what we're dealing with is usually low energy, low density, low vibe. So there's something within our experience, within our systems, within our homes, maybe within the general frequency of the people even around us, that we can be absorbing different negative thought forms. And so whatever it is, it generally makes our own vibe, our own frequency feel low. So we could be caught into kind of this cycle of staying in a low negative vibe, no matter how much we try to even bring ourselves up out of it, no matter what we do. And we may be quite aware of it, so that we might bring a lot of awareness to our actions in trying to make ourselves feel better and trying to instill habits and exercising, drinking lots of water, making good food choices. But still yet our vibe just stays kind of low, and we're still my battery just went dead, so I'm just starting again. This is part two within part one. So talking, just to carry on from shielding, we shield in order to raise our vibration, in order to raise our own personal frequency, in order to help ourselves feel better and to think more clearly, to make better choices, to help with better decisions, to help with our day run smoother. And that is one thing that I can say to you has been a massive benefit for myself, that I've noticed when I do regular and daily energy work, protective work, or shielding work. So working with energy, you don't have to be qualified in anything. You don't have to be pursuing Reiki or energy work or doing anything that way. This is kind of like, what I compare it to sometimes is maybe when people long ago used to have a regular and daily practice of going out in nature and connecting outside, because we can't deny how much better that makes all of us feel when we make the effort to go outside and connect with nature, when we spend some time alone. That in itself is something that actually raises our own personal frequency and vibration. And that is something that I do when I am doing my own energy or shielding work and grounding work, is that when I have the opportunity, when it's not like pouring rain here where I live, that I will go outside to do this particular work, because it definitely adds to the benefits of it, makes my energy feel much stronger as such for the day. I always feel more grounded and connected by going outside. But these are not things that can or need to inhibit us or stop us. They don't have to. That would only be an excuse, not doing it. For me anyways, it would be an excuse. And I was very good at finding excuses a good while ago, months ago, when I was cloudy in my thinking, and when I was struggling with trying to understand with what negativity and interference was, and why wasn't my own energy levels coming up despite all the things that I was doing and trying. So what I understood from shielding, using shielding and protecting work is so important that we must engage with it on a daily basis. So therefore we do it regularly. The Essenes and Jesus Christ, it's even written in some of the teachings that have been managed to be handed down, and a lot of it is through channeled work as well, that some of these energy practices were practiced by the Essenes, and that there was they were incorporated twice a day. So you do it in the evening time and in the morning time upon rising. It's best not to leave gaps if you can. A 12-hour period usually, and this is generally regarded in another spiritual group that I was part of years ago, when they did energy work. It was also recognized and understood that our force fields or shields can only last for a certain length of time, a duration of 12 hours. And I think, should I speak her name, Doreen Virtue, I believe in one of her books, one of her Lightworker books from years ago, I believe she wrote something as well in one of those books about the importance of doing spiritual work, your protective and shielding work every 12 hours, because your energy levels for different various reasons start to drop, they get affected, they can be interfered with, and eventually we can lose the vitality, because 3D Earth is so negatively programmed. We're, as humans, we're born quite negatively wired anyways initially, so we're almost predisposed in a lot of ways to negativity, and we have so much negativity around us that's been trying to be programmed into us all the time from various different external influences. So it goes without saying, within reason, that yeah, there's a constant drain on our positivity, trying to bring us down all the time, in this particular construct that we are experiencing, which is dying at the moment. So I'm not going to give too much importance to it at the moment. But however, like going into 21, like there still is negativity to be dealt with. There still is negativity being cleared out. And there still is a lot of people who are going to continue on in 21, being very connected to the whole 3D matrix. So you would ask the question, if you're moving into 5D, and you really are doing lots of different energy work to be a 5D, hold a 5D frequency, you're thinking, do I really need to be working on shielding and protecting myself all the time? My answer to that is absolutely, because you still need to, these are foundational work to keep your frequency at a really good state, at a good frequency level, to keep yourself in 5D, because it can be very easy to be, as a human, to be pulled back down and to be affected, or have like a 3D person who's in your life who's very 3D fixed, very easily start to grasp onto your high vibe energy and start to try and lower that, because negativity loves positivity. It needs the energy. It needs that, it's attracted to the energy in order to exist, because it needs this constant feed, like a slow drip of energy. So therefore, for me, moving into 5D, my basic spiritual, what I call my energy hygiene, is paramount to me. And if anything, I'm going to be stepping it up going into 21 and going deeper into my energy work, as I have been for the past 6 months. So with shielding, when you regularly shield, and I mean regularly, I mean twice a day, every day. And I know that that can be a bit of a stretch for people. And I struggled with it for myself in the beginning, because I'll tell you, years ago, I had always come across this information. I'd always accumulated various work about shielding, protecting, different things. Diana Cooper is amazing. I got a lot of information from her, but I was never able to actually put it all together concisely into one concise practice, or into one unified practice that made sense to me, and that I could consistently stick with, and that I could understand and actually see the benefits. And what the way it has worked with this practice of shielding for me is that until I really actually got out of my own way and started to dissolve my own blocks of, oh God, do I have to do this twice a day? Like, that's a lot. How am I going to like fit that in? How am I going to do this and this? And how am I going to go here? And when I'm there, how am I supposed to be doing my shields? And there was a lot of stuff in my mind that was already trying to say, well, no, you can't really do that. It's not really practical. But the thing is that when I persisted with my shielding and with doing my protection work, it all starts to slot in. It all starts to find a way. You will start to find the time in your day and in the moments in your life that it can become practical. So that's all I can say, is that the persistence of it, knowing that I had the right information, knowing that I had the right kind of program, I suppose, to follow, and just sticking with it then consistently and just doing it, knowing that it's like having to accept the information. For me, like, I don't know, I'm sure there's probably other people who may or may not have that struggle, but it's like it's accepting it, that this is actually the way it is. It's like this for a reason at the moment. It may not always be like that, but this is how it is, and it works because I see the changes and the benefits in other people who are doing it, who are sticking with this process. And so therefore, there's no point in me just dipping my toe in and just doing it half-assed and willy-nilly and just kind of going, well, sure, look, I'm doing this much, sure, surely it'll work for me. But no, because I'm no better or no special than anybody else, that I would have to put in less effort or less work. So it goes, so just, yeah, it just kind of, it fits in. It just slots in after a while. But the process of shielding, it's an inside job as well, because the energy is coming from the inside. This is the whole thing, is that it's not always from the outside. We're always looking for this outside solution, the outside protection. We've been taught and brought up and trained to look externally. So outside of ourselves, to the church, to doctors, to the medical profession, to science, and to other people who we think know better, know more than us. And really the people that I have found that have guided me along this energy way have been all people that all understand the basis and don't run away from the fact is that it's actually, the power is all completely within us. It's all inside, all the answers, and it's just in here. So we just need to commit to it and do it. So our energy shieldings come from inside. And when you start to work with your own energy fields and start to feel your own energy, you will start to feel this after a while. How long will it take? It's anybody's guess how long it's going to take. There is no time on this. There's no time limit and there's no time frame. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to do your shields. But of course, it should actually take more than 5 minutes anyway. In real time terms, okay, in real time, if we're going to talk like real 3D time sort of stuff at the moment, then I would be talking a 10-minute practice twice a day, 10 to 15 minutes tops. So as a side note, I'm just going to mention that I am starting my own Telegram channel. It's a channel, it's called, so I don't know how that's going to work, but today I guess is my official talking or announcement of my Telegram channel. It's called the Quantum Light Location Group. And I hope I'm not going to get much, I hope I will get more understanding around this, but this light location group is, because I'm based in Ireland, it's for people, light workers living in Ireland, because it's got to do with energy and bringing up a light energy, light quotient within the island of Ireland. So therefore, it doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you're actually living in Ireland and that your feet are on Irish soil, so that when we start to do healing, I'll be doing like healing sessions and healing groups, working with different energies and portals in relation specifically to portals and stargates at the moment. And it is to unify our energy as the light workers, that because personally within my life, I cannot be driving around here, there and everywhere all the time, activating and working with different portals in different places. So I've been guided to create this group to have people who are located around Ireland that we will join together and just do the work energetically. And there's many reasons why I have been led to actually start organizing this. So at the moment, this is just my official speak about that. And that is what has led me to making this video about shielding as well. As a member of this particular group, my quantum light location group, people will be required, and I will be asking people to do this shielding work on a daily basis. And if not for the group, just to do it for yourself. So I hope I've actually covered everything. This is part 1 of talking about shielding and working with shields. What are shields? Shields are energy layers. So like we have our aura, and our aura has multiple layers, which starts from our physical body, and each layer works outside externally, so that our aura can go up to 20 feet, even up to 50 feet outside of us externally. So if we already know, I'm going to assume that people watching this video will already know about auras and chakras and stuff. So we generate our energy from the chakras, it resonates and goes out through our different auric layers. And this is our own natural protective field that goes around us. But then certain things happen in life, certain influences happen, and our auric field can get distorted and attacked, and it can get damaged in all sorts of ways. So we tend to find ways then to heal that damage, or to limit whatever the interference or the attack is that's happening on the auric field. So by working with our own shields, with bringing up our own energy, working with our own energy process, our capability of connecting to our higher selves and channeling our own energy. And you don't have to think of yourself as being a channel. Okay, you don't have to be a channel. You don't have to be an energy worker or an energy healer. And like I said, you don't have to be. This is all of us. No matter what your belief system are, we all have an auric field, and we all are made from energy, and so we all resonate this energy. So when we start working with these energy layers, with these different shields, that I'm going to go through the process, a simple process, in part 2 of this video, because I don't like my videos being too long. We're going to go through exactly the techniques that, some simple techniques that I use. These are basic techniques. These are, I'm not even using alchemy with these techniques. These are just basic things that it's so important and relevant for energy workers, light workers, and intuitives and healers to be using and working with. So, so with that, that probably concludes part 2, or should I say part 1, and then hopefully I'll see you for part 2.